Lieutenant Columbo, Los Angeles Police Department, homicide.
I'm terribly sorry, Lieutenant, but you can understand my cautiousness. Forgive me, I'm at your service.
That's quite all right. It was a terrible thing.
It was ghastly. I was informed of it when I came off stage.
Really?
Yes, I was performing at the time. Apparently, it must have happened during the course of my trick. I was doing my water tank illusion.
You know, I saw you do that on television, the wife and I, when you were at Madison Square Garden. I don't know how you do that, sir.
You're not supposed to. That's how I managed to stay 2 steps ahead of my creditors.
I'm sure you do a little better than that.
Just a little bit.
See, my partner and I decided to split, go our separate ways. I'm sure Joanna must have mentioned that to you.
Yeah, she said something about that.
Did she also mention the fact that Jim wanted to do some serious writing?
Hey.
Uh-huh.
Wait a minute.
Dawning on you now?
Yeah.
Knew you'd get it. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. You see, Jim was researching a complete and factual expose of all West Coast organized crime. I mean, he was going around asking some pretty embarrassing questions, probing, compiling dossiers. That's why they searched this office. Apparently they got everything but that list.
And you think one of these fellas put out a contract on him?
Of course, word must have gotten around that Jim was compiling all this information. They knew they couldn't buy him off. So what did they do? They chose the usual alternative.
Professional killing, huh? But if that's true, why did they get rid of the body?
Well, who knows? But remember one thing, without a corpus delicti, you can't prove the murder was committed in the first place.
But why would a professional killer care? I mean, he's already on a plane back from where he came.
Well, Lieutenant, I can't answer all of your questions. I've given you a list of the most likely suspects, a clear motive. Isn't that enough to start with?
Oh, that's plenty, and believe me, I'm very grateful for all the help you've given me. Gee, that's funny.
What?
Well, this thing is folded lengthwise like someone was carrying it in their pocket.
So?
Well, if he typed that on that typewriter, and I'll run a check on that, why would he fold it up before he put it in that drawer?
Oh, I'm beginning to like you. He never was a very good liar. You might just want to know the truth. Eddie Kane mailed me this outline last June. And the moment I read it, I realized it had the makings of a very commercial book. But I also realized that Eddie Kane was not the guy to write it. I mean, he simply wasn't a writer. Fortunately, Alan was looking around for a new idea. When I showed him this, he jumped at it. Lieutenant, I was not trying to steal it. Quite the contrary. I offered Eddie Kane $5,000 for it. He refused. He was like a wild man. He was insulting, abusive.
But you didn't return the outline.
It was too late then. Alan was already at work on the book.
So what did Mr. Kane do?
He threatened me. Threatened Alan, too. Tried to reason with him. Even offered him part of my profits, but he was adamant. I never thought he'd be crazy enough to... I guess he killed Alan and he tried to frame me. You know, in many ways, I'm really to blame.
Well, I can understand how you feel, sir. I mean, that wasn't exactly an ethical thing that you did, was it?
No, it wasn't.
All right, Mr. Greenleaf, I'll be running along. You don't mind if I take this outline with me? I just want to take it to the lab and have them check the typing against Eddie Kane's typewriter.
No, of course.
You understand?
Oh, sure.
Good day, sir.
Good day, Lieutenant.
Feel better.
Thanks very much.
If I say you were locked in this cube, chained in without air for 10 minutes and suspended in water, the man's gonna look at me funny.
So it really is a question of an alibi, right?
Actually, sir, it's just a question of the report.
Let me tell you, Lieutenant, I probably have the best alibi of anyone who works here. Anyone. And the irony is the worst. Where was I last night when Jesse Jerome got it? Was I here? Or was I there? It's fascinating, isn't it?
Don't do that to me, sir. I admit it, you know. I don't know where in the hell you were. All I want to do is just please the superior here with this thing. And
Let me clear your head up for you. I had absolutely nothing to do with the crime. I've spent half my life working in that grand illusion. It's been wonderful for me, and audiences love it. And I'm not about to divulge the secret. But if at some point in time, you and your superior, and I know he's a tough man, insist that I come up with an alibi, I promise you I'll produce one. But until that time, at least allow me the privacy of my professional secret. Is that fair?
Fair enough. I figured out how Eddie King got in here that night. He didn't use the key that was removed from your car. Mallory had changed that lock, and obviously he didn't use this key. The fact is, he didn't use any key.
Well, how'd he get in here, then?
He walked. The door was open.
Well, the door was open.
Yes, sir. You see, the air conditioner had broken down. That's why that window was open. You can actually hear the street noises on the tape. But you know, an open window on a muggy night's not much help. So I think Mr. Mallory must have opened that door. That created a nice cross breeze here. Now, when Mr. Kane arrived, well, the door was open. He just walked in. Mr. Mallory must have turned around and he shot him.
All right. If that is true, and it sounds conceivable enough to me, but I don't see how that changes anything.
About what, sir?
About what happened. Now, look, Columbo, I have had you up to here. And frankly, I'm not interested in locks and keys and open doors and air conditioners and how he got in here. What the hell difference does it make how he got in here? The fact is that some crackpot war veteran came in here, shot and killed Alan Mallory, and then frames me out of some insane belief that Alan and I stole his lousy little story. Now, that's all I know. And that's all I'm interested in.
You know, down in headquarters, we've got these special handcuffs for dangerous criminals. They're absolutely foolproof. You can't get out of them. And the boys down at the station, they said nobody could get out of them. And I wagered that you would. I don't know whether you can, sir, but would you like to try and see whether you could do that?
Would you be good enough, sir, though, to explain to my audience that I have never seen these cuffs before, and this is the first time we've ever attempted this?
Oh, absolutely. I can vouch for that.
All right.
Absolutely.
I'll raise that up for you, make it more convenient, and there we have them. Are they secured now, sir?
Yes, sir.
To your satisfaction?
You can't get out of these. I know that for a fact.
We shall try. May I have a drum roll? Your handcuffs.
I knew you could do it. Idea for a Melville book, perfect alibi. A wants to kill B. Drives B to a remote house and has him call his wife in city. Tells her he's working late at the office. Bang, bang. Sound familiar? That's the plot you used. Practically word for word. Should I read some more?
No.
Officer, with this, I think I got a conviction, don't you?
You gotta admit I had you going for a while now, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
You wanna know the irony of all of this? That is my idea. The only really good one I ever had. I must have told it to Jim over 5 years ago. Whoever thought that idiot would write it down?
Just one more thing.